See you at the curtain call.
As all of you watching this already know, David Lynch has sadly passed away. I'm not exactly sure what to say here, but I know I want to say something. Ordinarily, when a celebrity passes, I'm not the type to get too torn up, but deaths of actors and actresses who portrayed Twin Peaks characters have, for whatever reason, always hit me a good deal harder. And now in the case with David Lynch himself, my filmmaking hero, it's a very sad day losing someone you've looked up to and admired, even without that direct personal connection. Because in the case of Lynch, in a very real sense, he created art that presented the viewer with something wonderful and strange, almost tangible, something intimate that resulted in an inherent personal connection with the art itself. My first memory of experiencing a David Lynch film was back when I was, I want to say, around 8 or 9 years old, and that movie was The Elephant Man, which to this day remains one of my absolute favorite films of all time. Simply put, it's an emotional powerhouse of epic proportions. As a child, I didn't know who Lynch was, and I didn't necessarily understand the more complex themes in the film. But even at a young age, I recognized that I was experiencing something special, something different. The Elephant Man remains a timeless masterpiece that makes a profound statement about the human experience. I was fortunate enough to see several of Lynch's movies in the theater when they were released, and they all provided magical viewing experiences. The type of magic that is uniquely Lynch. Lost Highway and Inland Empire were both incredibly captivating films directed by Lynch. And with The Straight Story, I think I actually saw that one in the theater 4 times on its initial run, including once when I was killing time between job interviews in Manhattan. Mulholland Drive, of course, is the one initially intended to be the pilot for a television series, but a series of unfortunate circumstances led to it never being picked up, which to this day is something I often wonder about. What could have been if Mulholland Drive was picked up as a show? With the lessons Lynch undoubtedly learned from his previous effort in television, it had the potential to be something very special. As it turned out, it wound up being something very special in any case, with Lynch brilliantly adapting the television pilot into an impressive and memorable feature film. I'll still always wonder what could have been, in terms of Mulholland Drive, the series. But the anticipation of knowing Lynch filmed additional footage to transform it into a feature, which was very cleverly done in vintage Lynchian style, it was tremendous. This was another one I must have seen 3 or 4 times in the theater. Eraserhead was a film for me that, as far as film viewing experiences go, was as magical as they come for me, right up there with 2001: A Space Odyssey, where I have long been fond of the fact that Stan the Man was apparently a big Eraserhead fan too. I watched Eraserhead for the first time on VHS more than 20 years after it was released. Eraserhead was the one movie, more than any other, that made me think about movies in a totally different way, where it wasn't so much about what was happening as it was about the viewing and listening experience. For me, it was inspirational in an almost life-changing sort of way. But for me, my biggest love of Lynch in a filmmaking capacity was always Twin Peaks. I don't know what it was about that place, both wonderful and strange, with its quirky characters, never-ending mysteries, its dark secrets, and all that cherry pie with a damn fine cup of coffee. I don't know what made it such a fascinating show, but something about that world was simply irresistible. It just pulled you in and kept you mesmerized and kept you hooked, and it was full of twists and turns in the realm of the unexpected. I didn't see Twin Peaks until several years after it aired, when I was in college in the fall of 1997. Someone actually had the international pilot on VHS, and we were instantly hooked, subsequently going to Blockbuster and renting them all, and VHS binging our way through in its entirety, long before I even knew binging was a thing. Such mystery, so much intrigue, captivating characters, a brilliant blend of light and shade, a TV masterpiece. That cliffhanger ending from season 2 is horrifyingly and frustratingly profound. It left a lasting impression, one that, for me at least, lasted for nearly 20 damn years. After Twin Peaks, I watched Fire Walk with Me and Blue Velvet. Blue Velvet to me, and I know I'm not alone in this, but it almost felt like we were witnessing a young Dale Cooper on his adventures. A precursor to Twin Peaks almost. Fire Walk with Me was an actual prequel to Twin Peaks. And we were given that glimmer of hope with Annie urging Laura to make that diary entry. For 20 plus years, I always fantasized and imagined what a season 3 of Twin Peaks may have been like. So many unanswered questions. So much mystery still surrounded the seemingly extinct town. In all that time I spent wondering about what might have been, it became a more and more remote fantasy. And as the years kept passing, I'd still sometimes find myself deeply bewildered by utter fascination when contemplating the interesting world of Twin Peaks. Then amazingly, against all odds, it was happening again. It was happening again. After more than 25 years, the improbable, triumphant return of Twin Peaks became a reality. And all that build-up, it exceeded my lofty expectations. In my humble opinion, it was David Lynch's greatest effort in a filmmaking capacity. And for me, it was my most enjoyable 18-hour viewing experience ever. I thought it was perfectly executed. A fitting farewell to the show after so many years. A final farewell we never thought we would get. It was like a culmination of all of Lynch's previous work, with a lot of overlapping themes and visuals, and a lot of inventive stuff falling into an entirely new scope, eloquently blended to near perfection, from the opening cryptic clue provided by the fireman to the haunting scream of Laura Palmer, and every step in between, with my personal favorite remaining the revelation of the cherry pie and the resolution with the Mitchum brothers. It was such an enjoyable ride, one that allows for multiple viewings with newer and different perspectives. Twin Peaks Season 3 is a true work of art. As a final thought, I've watched a lot of movies and television shows in my life, from great to awful, but Twin Peaks Season 3, the improbable return, the palpable weekly anticipation, the mesmerizing journey of it all, and the disbelief that Twin Peaks was actually back after such a long stretch of time. It was simply the most amazing viewing experience in my life, and amazingly, while I'd always selfishly hoped to see more Twin Peaks, more of that damn interesting world, it provided perfect closure to that frustrating Season 2 cliffhanger, where Lynch amazingly put the Laura Palmer mystery back in the bottle again, and he did so in triumphant fashion. I guess what I'm trying to say with all of this is, thank you, David Lynch. Thank you for your incredible contributions as both an artist and as a filmmaker. You were truly one of a kind, and you will be dearly missed. My sincere condolences to Lynch's surviving family and friends. Rest in peace, David Lynch, and thank you for all of the magical memories. May the rest of your eternity be spent enjoying beautiful blue skies and golden sunshine all along the way.